Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. We've got a little bit more Scentsy on deck today.
Yes.
This time we have a top leader in Scentsy that is making a huge life choice based on her quote-unquote Scentsy business. We're gonna get right the f into it, but first we need the disclaimer.
I know how much she like rolling, the smoke from the ties away. No telling where we'll be going, but I'm gonna be on it, you know it for sure.
If you're not familiar with Scentsy, they are an MLM, also known as a multi-level marketing company, network marketing company, social selling. Some would even refer to them as a pyramid scheme. And that is because they have a recruitment-based business model at the moment. When you join a company like Scentsy, that is an MLM, you are encouraged to recruit your friends and family members onto your team to also sell Scentsy and recruit more people so that you can make some kind of income. The products that Scentsy focuses on when they do talk about their products are scented products. So we're talking about the warmers that have light bulbs in them with dishes on top that you put scented wax in to make your house smell good, or your office, or wherever you are at the moment. Since launching these warmers and scented wax melts, they have expanded into a children's line. They have house cleaning products. Anything scented is what they carry. That is the idea here. If you want to know a little bit more about Scentsy, I do have a full deep dive that I will link in the description below. If you are ready to get into this shit show, she called this a state of the union in her Scentsy business. And as I was scrubbing through this to see what it was all about, I was really thinking that she was coming to the dark side of the anti-mlm world, and she was kind of opening her eyes, but there was a dramatic turn of events. So before we get into it, the first half of it is very rambly and confusing. I will speed it up a little. I'm not going to cut anything out because we do need the context. If you want to skip that part, if it gets too rambly for you, I put chapters in so you could skip to the part where things take a dramatic turn. Let's get into it.
Hello, everybody. All right, so it has been a hot minute. Jackie's been a little MIA.
Refers to herself in the third person.
Because I have been doing all of the things for 2025, and I'm not gonna lie when I say that I have been a little overwhelmed. And so if you guys can relate to that, please let me know down below if you can relate to that, because I've kind of been in my feels a little bit about the fact that I've been a little MIA than I normally have. I have been doing Scentsy since 2012. Okay, I clicked the join button in 2012. So it is 13 years that I have been doing this business, and I will tell you, it wasn't until about the first year in, probably about 2014, that I actually sat down and was like, you know what, I want to work this as like a full-time business, right? Even though I still worked outside the home, I still had a full-time job. But I was going to put everything I could on the table and like push, right? So since 2014, I guess, is when I have been grinding. Okay. And when I say grinding, I am talking every single night. I would get home from my job and I would instantly go into work mode, Scentsy work mode, right? Like I would get home, I would do mail outs, I would do email campaigns, I would create my Canva stuff, I would do mail outs, I would do coachings, do one-on-ones, create newsletters, do graphics, prep stuff that needed to go out, update my Facebook VIP group, my business page, my personal page, put all the things, right? Like I was putting everything I could into it. And then
now remember, these are leaders that have in the past preached that Scentsy will give you time freedom and location freedom and all of those things. This individual has been working a full-time job for all of the years that she's been in Scentsy. She joined in 2012. It is 2025. For all of those years, she has been doing this day in and day out. And many times, most times, in fact, that is the case. You're putting all of these hours into this business that you think is going to give you something in return. And at the end of the day, you're just completely drained and burnt out, and you've likely lost money in your situation.
And then I would make dinner for the night. And then I would, especially when Madison was younger, right? Then getting her ready for bed, because we're back to the schedule, but then too, my husband and I work opposite shifts, right? Like I work during the day, he works at night. So when I'm getting home, he's getting ready to walk out the door. So we're back to that schedule because he works for Ford, or a company, the distribution center for Ford, who supplies all of their parts. Our Ford plant here in Kansas City, we're the ones who make the Ford F-150, the Ford Transit vans, and there's another one. There's 3 of them, but I know the F-150 is like the big one, right?
Where are we going here?
Anyway, so he is the operations manager of the warehouse or the distribution center that gets all the parts over to the Ford plant. So it's a very high pressure job that he does. But he works the B shift, which means he works technically 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. Tuesday through Friday normally, and then depending on what's going on, he may have to pick up an extra day, and then it turns into chaos. Anyway, I digress. So we are literally ships passing in the night, right? Because I'm waking up at 4:30 in the morning so I can get to work by 6. So then that way I can get through my day, so I can leave by 3:30-ish, drive home, which is about a 25-30 minute drive home, and again, be able to have like that 30 minutes together before he is walking out the door, right? This is where we were then, and this is where we are now.
After all these years of her working both these businesses and him working really hard, she's still not seeing it. And to me, it breaks my heart for her, because the simplest solution to this problem is leaving Scentsy and pursuing your career. That's a guaranteed paycheck with benefits and time off and the ability to come home and turn it off and just spend that time with your husband, who you're passing like ships in the night. Like, there's a simple solution, but I'm kind of getting ahead of myself right now. We need to get back into it.
And let me tell you, it has been quite the past year for me personally. And I'm only like detailing all of this out for you guys, just so you know where I'm coming from, because I want you to know where I'm coming from, where all of this is rooting, rather. Last January, so January 2024, I had gastric bypass surgery, which was a big surgery, physically, but also mentally as well. It changed my diet. It changed how I lived. It changed how I would sleep. It literally like flipped a switch in my body, because I personally, I had a metabolism disorder. Okay. Obviously I figured that out after years. I'm not a young spring chicken. Okay. But after years of trying diets and working out consistently and fasting and drinking more water and doing all of the things and going on Ozempic. I was on Ozempic for 2 years. Like nothing was happening. And I finally saw my metabolic surgeon, and he was like, Jackie, for some people, it is simply a metabolic disease. That is what it is, the core of it.
I applaud her for that, for working on her health and figuring out what was going to work for her and getting all of those medical opinions. I wanted to point that out because I won't tolerate anybody bashing her for doing what she needed to do for her body as far as surgery or Ozempic or anything like that goes. That's not why we're here. That's all I'll say. I am happy for her that she did what's right and she's feeling better and things are getting on track for her health. Definitely not why we're here, but that was part of the video that we needed to keep in there for context.
No pill, no shot, no working out, no cardio, no walking on a freaking treadmill. No diet is going to cure that. It's just simply your body that is just not, it's missing its spark, right? For whatever reason. And so that's when I decided to go ahead and do the surgery, and I did, and I still swear by it and will say it is the greatest thing I have ever done for myself personally, because it literally felt like a light switch clicked in my body. I was alive again. Like all of a sudden at 45 years old, I felt brand new. It was amazing. I never, ever, ever, ever will regret it. But along with that comes a lot of physiological changes, right? So I was sleeping better for the first time in years, but at the same time, I needed to maintain that, right? Like you do have to change your diet a little, right? So I have to really focus on getting protein rather than just getting food from, blah, 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 whatever happens to be available that day. I really had to think about things and what I was doing and what I was putting in my body. And I really had to focus on doing exercises and working out and just pouring into myself personally as a human.
We get it. Move on.
While doing that, my grandson had been born, and I had made the decision in my mind that I was going to go back. I had 1 year left on my RN degree to get my nursing degree. Something that I had put off since my 2 older kids were little because I was a mom and it just got to be too much and I couldn't do it. And so all I had left was clinicals. And so after my grandson was born, I was like, okay, I feel like I need to do something, right? Like I'm making all these big changes in my life. I'm making this personal big change in myself and my body and my health and all of these things. I need to make a change on this side of the fence too. And so getting my RN was what I thought was going to complete that change. And so because of that, I took a job in the emergency room at a local hospital here, a level 1 trauma center. And I started working the overnight shift. I was working 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. Let me just tell you, I worked the overnight shift in an ER when I was younger, when my kids were younger. I was like, no sweat, I got this. Like, I've done this before, I got this. Let me just tell you, when you get older, things don't work the same, okay? They don't work the same because...
I will also say, if you've been here for a while, you might know that I am a certified medical assistant and I was in nursing school. While I was in nursing school, I was working at a level 1 trauma center in the ER overnight, 6P to 6A. It was hell. I couldn't do it. I lasted 6 months and got the out of there. I couldn't do it. So props to her. I get it.
At the 6-month mark, I was like, I cannot do this anymore. I cannot.
Yes, 6 months. Like, is that the thing? Like, if you've worked overnights before and you couldn't last, was it 6 months? Because it was 6 months for me. And I know people that work overnight every fucking week, and I don't know how they do it.
Me hats off to you, Batman.
My body cannot keep up, even after flipping the switch, right? And resetting my metabolism and my body and all the things. I just could not keep up. Even though it was only 3 12-hour shifts a week, I was like, oh, that's gravy. I can get through that and have plenty of time. No, my internal body clock was off. Everything was off. I was in a mind fog all the time because I really wasn't, even though I was getting sleep, I really wasn't sleeping, if you know what I mean when I say this. Everything was off. So when you have all of those factors that were stacking up, and then I'm still trying to maintain my Scentsy business, and I'm still trying to maintain all of the things that I have done for the last, 12, 13 years as a leader in Scentsy and doing content and all of the, like, my business and all of the things. Like, I just could not, for the life of me, keep up. And it was really bringing me into this really dark space of failure. And for me personally, failure is a trigger. I don't know. There's probably some deep, dark, rooted reason why behind it. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. So I'm not even going to pretend to be one. But failure is a trigger for me. So when I start to feel like I'm failing, I start to shut down. I shut down. And that's what I felt myself starting to do, was shut down.
I want to add a little bit more context. I think she talks about it toward the end, but I want to preface it before she gets really into it. She's somebody who regularly posts on social media about Scentsy. She does regular videos on her YouTube channel on everything about Scentsy. And she has not been posting as much. So people were asking her about it. And this is why she went on and did this. So in my head, I'm listening. I'm like, I am so proud of this woman. She went back to school for her nursing degree and she is seeing the light. She's like, I can't do Scentsy anymore. This legitimate career that is always going to be here is something I need to pursue. I'm leaving Scentsy. That's not where we're going. We're going the opposite direction.
And it was hard. It was very, very hard. Mental health is a big thing for us in the age and the economy and everything, like the year that we live in and like all the things. We talk about mental health more now than we have. Again, I'm 46 years old now, right? Like, I can't imagine, I can never remember a time like being a child in the late 80s, early 90s and hearing about mental health. Like, that wasn't a thing, okay? It is now. It is now. because we're finally starting to realize what it really is. And what it really was doing to me was making, like, literally pulling me back into my shell. As much as I didn't want to be, as much as I didn't want to, as much as I didn't want to be in those places, I still just kept trudging along. I'll get through this. Wasn't working. So I knew I had to make a change. And so I took a new job at a surgery center as the medical billing specialist. And even though I've done medical billing for years, I kind of almost felt like an imposter, like, because it had been a minute since I had done that type of work. And I was like, I mean, yes, if you want to sit down and really look at it, yes, I have 15 years, 10, 13, 14 years, whatever it is, experience in doing this, right? Working for a huge health system here in the Kansas City metro area, being a supervisor in that field, a manager in that field, all of the things. But yet I still felt like something was missing when I got to this job, even though I loved the job, and I felt something was missing. So that's when I made the decision, okay, I've got to make a decision here of what's going to happen. And so I made the decision to officially drop the RN program, which was very heavy on my heart because, again, when my grandson was born, it was one of those things like, I'm going to do this because this was something that I had been working for since I was 25 or something. I don't know, like for years, okay?
I feel like we can feel the sadness exuding from her when she's explaining that she had to drop her RN program. I'm not a therapist or any of those things. I am a YouTube creator and this is what I do. So we're going to talk about it. I'm not saying that this is an official diagnosis or anything like that. I'm just making observations and giving you my opinion. That's why we're here.
I am not a doctor.
No, going back to it. I just feel like inside she's sad about having to give up her RN program, which, in my opinion, it should have very quickly been I'm leaving Scentsy because this RN program is something that I've wanted my whole life, and I'm not letting myself down. Because if you haven't caught on yet, she's staying with Scentsy, dropped her RN program so she could do so. She needs to pay more attention to her Scentsy quote unquote community, which we'll see here in a second. How is that the answer? If less than 1% of individuals who join an MLM make it out profitable and successful, when you could go to RN school and finish your goal that you set for yourself when you were in your early 20s, just push that to the side and keep this pretend fantasy business and keep recruiting people and pretending like it's going to work out. Girlfriend, are you not seeing what's happening within Scentsy? This is after all of the Scentsy changes took place. Get back in that program if you can. Please. This is not the answer.
So I had to make that decision, and that weighed very heavily on my heart. And when things weigh heavy on you and you're already in that place to where you feel like you're just kind of phoning it in, it just gets heavier and heavier and heavier. And I was feeling so heavy. So again, something had to change. Something had to change. So for the past 2 months now, here we are, almost the middle of February. So it's been right at about 2 months. I've really just been taking a step back and trying to figure out what is it that I need? What is it that I want to do? What is it that I want everything to look like? Now, I have been doing Scentsy since 2012. I cannot imagine my life without Scentsy in it. Let me just preface everything by saying that. I cannot imagine my life without Scentsy in it. I love, still to this day, I joined because I love the product. I still love the product. That has not changed. But things are shifting for me, and I'm starting to get into a better groove. I'm starting to feel more confident in myself again. I'm starting to get to a good head space, and in that head space that allows me to kind of open things up in all of the other aspects of my life, right? So it helps me to open up to say, Yes, I still want Scentsy in my life. Yes, this is still a part of who I am. Yes, this is still a part of my identity. I do have a career that I'm working on. I am a grandmother. I'm still a mom, right? Like, that never goes away. I'm still a wife. I still run the house. I take care of the house and all the things, right? Like, all the things. But I'm finally at that point to where I am feeling more settled in a spot. And after, I mean, since, I guess, if we really want to be honest with ourselves, and I truly want to be honest with you guys right now, because a lot of you have noticed, because you've reached out to me, like, Jackie, where have you been? I noticed you haven't been on lately.
I want to address that because I obviously very recently went through some changes myself in my personal life, put up some boundaries, figuring my own shit out and whatnot. And there are some days where I want to revert back to my old ways, the unhealthy shit, the things that I was holding on to, revert back to all of that because I felt settled. It feels settled. It feels safe. It feels familiar. But sometimes the unfamiliarity is what we need.
Preach, girl!
Oh, I will.
The shakeup is what we need to get what we really need out of life, not running back to what's safe and settled. And in my opinion, and judging by the statistics of MLMs and what's happening within Scentsy right now, you're likely better off getting back into the RN program or just focusing more on your billing career and just getting laser focused on that instead of laser focusing on Scentsy. There's no stability there right now, and it's scary. And I'm scared for these individuals because they fell into this. And I, the other night, said to myself, I'm so grateful that I wasn't successful in recruiting in Scentsy and making a livable wage and being able to leave my job, because if I did, I would be shitting my pants right now. And that's what these individuals need to be looking at. Where's Scentsy really going? Regardless of what Heidi and Orville are telling you, the bullshit they're feeding you, it's not looking good. They're laying people off. They're taking your commissions down. They're taking bonuses away. They're doing all of these things. And y'all think that you need to just shift even more focus onto your Scentsy business now. It should be the other way around. You need to let go of the Scentsy business, focus on things that are going to be really sustainable and offer you long-term success and security. Where is that coming from?
And it's because for probably about the last 9 months, again, changing, going back to the ER and working that overnight shift and going back to getting my nursing degree and then changing careers again and then figuring out, well, what am I doing now? Okay, now I'm going to get this medical billing and coding certificate. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this program and just get it done. And this is where I want to be. And making that decision and finding that decision for myself. It has been a lot. It's been a lot going on up here. And so I want to thank those of you who have reached out and have been like, Jackie, I've noticed your absence, because not only has that meant a lot to me, because I feel like this, I'm here for not only the product, but I'm here for the community, because that's the product and the community is why I'm here. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Those are the two things. So you guys and the product.
Do I really need to say it? We see the issue there, right? The fucking community. I'm giving up my nursing program because this community is safer. This community is where I belong. This community is important. And the Scentsy products are nice. This is cult-like behavior that we're seeing. It's like they can't take their focus away from Scentsy because they're so terrified of losing the community. That alone should be a red flag. If working on your family and your stability and your safety and your education is going to cause you to lose a community of people, goodbye.
That's why I'm here. Because if it wasn't for those two things, I would not be standing here right now. I would be out there on my laptop, sitting down, taking notes, and doing the next chapter in my certification course and doing all the things, which I will do later. But I'm making time for this because of you. And because of my love for this business and what it can do. I don't want you guys to think that I am leaving, because I'm not leaving. I am just finding my new footing in all of this. And so a lot of that means taking a step back, not from you guys, but taking a step back from a lot of the other things that I've put on my own plate over the years. And a lot of that is in the Scented Bliss team and being a very active member in that leadership piece of the Scented Bliss team, which obviously I'm always a piece of the leadership team in that group. But at the same time, I can only carry my own load right now because I don't want to have that heaviness on me. I don't want to feel and be in that place again. So I have to look out for myself. And what that looks like is me taking care of this group, me taking care of my personal business, me taking care of getting the rest of my certification classes done, which I hope to be done in like the next 3 to 4 weeks, and then take my exam, and then I'm done with all of that, right? And then I just work, and then that's it. Okay. Which I already do. But that's what this looks like. So if you guys don't see me in these other groups, if you guys don't see me,
I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe she's getting a certification in the medical billing, which is also a great thing to go for if you're looking for something. There's a lot of work from home opportunities for medical coding and billing. Just put that out there. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people don't know that. So now you do. Let's get back into it.
See me participating in the other things. I don't want you to think that that means I'm not in this. You guys in this group are my focus. Myself and getting myself through, again, I hope to be only another month-ish to finish my certification classes and then take the actual exam and then be done with that, right? And then it's just work. And then I do that again. Like I said, I do that anyway, right? Like I do that anyway. Still working through all of this. That's where I want to be. And that's what I need to focus on doing right now. Oh, I'm seeing comments. Yay! Okay. Waxy. Yes, boundaries. Yes, that's a perfect way of saying it. Boundaries. Because I need those personal boundaries. Because I was finding that I was spreading myself so thin that I wasn't giving myself anywhere to be. Right? Because I was trying to be a leader there. I was trying to be a leader there. I was helping out and, doing trainings for other leaders that would reach out to me that I've made relationships with over the years, right? Hey, would you do a training for me here? Would you do this? Would you do that? Would you blah, blah, blah? And any other time during my entire Scentsy career, yes, 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 yes. Throw it on my calendar. Yes, 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 yes. But if you take all of those yeses and then you add in all of that heaviness that was already on top of me, I was literally suffocating through all of it. And it was a very, very, very hard thing for me because, and Waxy can attest this because she and I have talked in Texas and we've had conversations about this because I've been like, you know what, maybe I just need to, maybe the answer is me stepping away from Scentsy.
Yes, let's do that.
That is actually the answer. In my opinion, the answer to the problem here is stepping away from Scentsy. I just want to warn all the consultants out there. It's not good. There's a storm a-brewing, friends.
We're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy.
Get out while you still can. With your dignity, your integrity, maybe a little money, hopefully, if you're lucky. There is an interesting pipeline of Scentsy to Arbonne going on right now, though. Maybe they'll all just go over to Arbonne once things go awry.
But when I really think about stepping away from Scentsy, honestly, it breaks my heart in two. Like, I can't step away from Scentsy. I love the product. I love the community. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Did my commission check last month suck? Yeah. But it's also, I haven't been putting in. I haven't been doing my part in my business. I've been slacking off on doing a lot of the things that I normally would do when it comes to my own personal business. And so I have nobody else to blame except myself, right? Like, I didn't fill that obligation. And so that's on me. But then I had to look at it and go, okay, so if that's the problem, then where do I really want to be in all of this? And when I really think about it, and when I'm really, really honest, which I will always be honest with you guys, I am here for this group and my personal business. And so I apologize for being absent the last couple of weeks, a month, maybe probably longer, right? Like, I know I personally have dropped off in doing a lot of the things over the last 6 months just because of that feeling of feeling heaviness and failure and all of the deep dark things that nobody wants to talk about, right? Like, nobody wants to talk about the dark stuff. Everybody just wants to talk about the happy things. I'm here to let you know that it's okay to talk about the dark stuff. It's okay to acknowledge, yeah, I'm in a bad headspace right now, or yeah, I'm in a spot to where I can't seem to feel like I want to do this right now, or
My heart is so sad for her. I personally feel that she's giving vibes that she's not confident in what she's saying right now. That's where I'm at with it. I hate that for her. She has a good career and she has good things going for her, and she is putting all of this focus on her Scentsy quote unquote business, and I hate to see what's going to happen to it over the next year, where it's just like, well, what was all of it for? Why did I give up my nursing program to work on this when it's now gone? Please just get out while you can.
whatever. If anybody understands that, it's me. I totally understand that. I totally get that. I am there with you 100% when it comes to that. So, I don't want you to think anything else other than that. Crystal, I know, babe, and my heart is with you, and yeah, I am totally, I know.
What is happening right now?
You know, I love you. So, I am going to restructure how I'm showing up for you guys, and by all means, I want you guys to be honest with me. What is it that you need from me? Do you need the weekly videos, trainings? What do you need from me that I can say, okay, this is what my group needs, right? Because remember, I have now pulled myself back from Scented Bliss. I've pulled myself back from even as much as I want to, because I'm that person, of like doing trainings for other people in their groups and things like that. Because right now, again, like Waxy said earlier, boundaries. Like I really, that needs to be my word right now, is boundaries. I keep wanting to say pivot, but boundaries is a really better way to summarize all of this, because my focus needs to be on this group. My focus needs to be on my business. My focus needs to be on me. And so because of all of that, this is where I have to be right now. This is it. Okay. So how can I help you the best? Okay. What can I do? What is it that you need? What is it that you want me to show up for? Because again,
Hear me. If you're watching this, please hear me. Somebody send this part to her, please. I want you to hear yourself when you say, I need to focus on this, and this for me. And then immediately you follow that up with, what can I do for you? What do you need? How can I help you? Coming from a recovering people pleaser. Focus on you, girl. It should be me, I. This is where we want it to be. Me, I, me, I. Leave the business. Them. Am I the only one feeling this coming off of her? Let me know in the comments. Are you disagreeing with me? Am I totally off base here? What are you feeling?
again, my priority is here. And I've even tried to go through, I did over the weekend, I tried to go through the group and I had random other leaders like outside of Bliss, outside, like I had random leaders who I had in the group, because at some point or another they were helping with trainings, or they, you know, were a great mentor to me or what have you. And I was like, why are these people still in this group? Because they're not contributing. I'm not mentoring with, or I'm not working with them and brainstorming. Well, there's nothing in the works right now. So I kind of went through and I was like, okay, who is a consultant? Who is not a consultant? Because it's been forever since I've even done that. So I went through the group and I've tried to really just kind of say, okay, because the people in this group are the people who are going to have my focus. So if the people in this group are not focused and are not in this group, then I need to trim the fat, right? Like I need to trim the fat, because I need to, again, boundaries. I love it.
She's just kicking people out of her group left and right. Trim the fat.
I'm gonna write it over here on my board. Boundaries. I love that, because that is such a better way of saying it than how I was saying it. But those are going to be my boundaries. And so, you know, if you guys feel that you want me to be more consistent in doing those weekly trainings, then I will do the weekly trainings. If you guys are telling me I don't really care about weekly trainings, it's not a big deal to me, you could do them, you could not do them, I don't care. Like, I know, and I get it, and some people are like that. Like, they're like, I don't care. When I need help, I'll ask for it. Or, you know, when I need help, I'll look on YouTube. Or when I need the, you know, whatever. But for others, it can be very motivating. It can be something that they, you know, set their watch to, right? Like, I know on Tuesdays at this time that there's going to be a training on something, whatever it might be, right? So I need you guys to tell me what it is that I can do to help and motivate you, what I can do to show up for you, and how I can be the best I can be for you.
But what about you?
Because again, you are this group here is my community. This group here is my focus. You guys and my customers. And that is it right now for me. Because until I finish my certification class and until I get settled into my working routine, because once I get my certification, I very well may work like from home a couple of days a week. I don't even know what that's going to look like. Obviously, that's down the road. I need to focus, Jackie. Focus. Okay, squirrel.
Maybe she needs some Adderall. And for some context, there was a Adderall reference made by another consultant in a video that I just put up before this one. So that's what I'm referring to if you missed that one. I was not trying to give medical advice.
Focus. So things may look different, you know, in that aspect, but this is where I'm at right now. This is where my focus is right now. So if you feel comfortable commenting here, comment here. If you don't feel comfortable commenting here, that's okay too. You can message me. You can text me. I think you all have a number, okay? You can text me. You can message me. Let me know what it is that you feel could be the most motivating, the most helpful for you from me. What can I help you with? Like I said, is it continuing with weekly trainings? Is it, you know, you got to have the shout outs? Is it, you know, and list them. And I am more than happy to do what I need to do to show up for you. You're my people. You're my people. Okay?
Guys, this is the reality. This is the reality of what is happening within MLMs. Most of them, at least. Very heavily with Scentsy. This is how it always has been. If you don't know, I don't think I mentioned this at the beginning of this video, but I was in Scentsy for almost 4 years. I was very heavy into the community, if that's what you want to call it. I currently like to refer to it as a cult, but that's just me personally, in my own opinion. This is what's regular. This is normal for all Scentsy consultants. And I'm happy to be able to bring it to light more for more and more people to see, because I think oftentimes Scentsy is deemed the quote unquote safe MLM, and that is never going to be, and it has never been the truth. Scentsy is just like all of the other MLMs and pyramid schemes out there, and it is just as predatory and disgusting as LuLaRoe, in my opinion.
We're people here. High five. High five. Okay. All right. So, yeah, this really wasn't much of a training. This was more of a, hey, Jackie, where are you at today? Is this my State of the Union address? I don't even know. I don't even know what a real State of the Union address is. I don't watch those things. But maybe it's my State of the Union. I'm gonna entitle this Jackie's State of the Union.
That's the level of importance that Scentsy leaders think they have, I guess. It's time for our State of the Union. What are we doing?
Okay, that's what it is. That's what the title is right now. Because that's what I feel like. So that's where I am. That's where I'm at. Waxy, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I couldn't do this without you. I really honestly could not. I couldn't do it without you. I couldn't do it without Texas. I couldn't do it without Robin. You three are my backbone. You three are the ones that literally pull me. And yeah, I love you. I love everybody, but
you don't have to tell your team that you love them if you are in an MLM. You never have to tell any of your downline that you love them if you are in an MLM. It's a little bit creepy if you think about it, honestly. If you were to put yourself in a boardroom of an actual business, a legitimate business that actually employs people and pays them a livable wage and whatnot and gives them benefits, you would not find the person running this meeting telling all of the employees they love them. It's okay to not love your team.
Those three, they know. They're my rock. Okay, so there we are. All right, mental state of the I like that too. I like that too. All right, I might just do that. All right, guys, so there we go. There's where we're at. So I'm going to wait for you to tell me what I can do for you so we can make this a better place for all of us and we can all get back into that space. Because here's the thing. At the end, I'm going to throw in a little bit of training. I know at the end, I know. I'm going to just say, it's February. Our new catalog is starting on March 1st. So we've got stuff to look forward to. Brand new catalog, all the transition stuff. And I've covered it before. It doesn't really change from season to season. So I am going to bump out into the group, probably tomorrow. I'm going to be completely transparent because tonight I'm doing the podcast tonight. I know Texas will be on the podcast.
You better watch out with that podcast because remember Allison Delkey and her husband, they got in trouble for having a podcast, supposedly. I think there were other things involved. That's beside the point, but watch out with those podcasts if you're monetized because Scentsy can come and cancel your account and then you're going to be like, oh, I did all of this fucking everything for nothing, including a State of the Union. Watch out.
So we're still going to do that and then I got to cook dinner and then I do have to do some coursework. So tomorrow I'm going to bump out some of my transition tips and things like that because obviously I have those in the back pocket, right, in my YouTube because that's what it's there for. Like I said, that stuff really doesn't change. It's a new catalog, but it's still the same concept, right? It's still all of the same things when it comes to transition. So I'm going to push that forward and then we can definitely if you guys feel like it would be helpful, if you need some help, especially those of you who are newer, and you're like, a good training on just transition and what it looks like right now, or if you have questions about what Scentsy looks like right now, I'm more than happy to answer those things. So again, drop them below, send me a message, send a pigeon to my house, send all the things, and I will make sure that I help you because again, you're my focus. My customers are my focus, and it's going to be, now that I finally have brought myself to this spot to where I've made a decision. This is where I'm at. This is how we're moving forward. These are the boundaries, right? Like these are the things. Then this is it for me. So I'm here.
What exactly are the boundaries? Because I'm unclear. You giving up whatever you need to in your personal life to cater to Scentsy and your team? Because that's what I'm getting from this State of the Union. You are putting up boundaries in your personal life as far as if something happens, if anybody needs anything in my Scentsy business, quote unquote, I'm dropping what I'm doing and tending to their needs because that's the most important thing. This is sounding a little bit delulu in my opinion.
So I'm waiting on you to partner with me and let me know how I can best help you and what you need and what you want, what motivates you. What can I do to help you in your business? It would be great if I could say, oh, I'll just jump in and do all your happy mail for you. Lord knows if I could do that, I would. I'd wave my little Harry Potter wand and I'd do it for you. Ba-boom. But I cannot. But what I can do is share information, how I'm working, what I'm doing, and that's where I'm gonna focus. And we're gonna do it together. And we're gonna get through this, and it's gonna be a really great brand new catalog season starting on March 1st. So again, more to come. We'll go over that stuff. I will bump forward some transition trainings and things like that, so it's there for you. For those of you who it might be your first transition, or maybe you're like me and you're like, hey, I've just kind of been floating along and I really just need to find my space again. Those are the things that you need to know. Those are the things that they don't change from catalog to catalog to catalog. They just don't. The catalog changes, the products may change, little nuances may change, but at the core of it, right, is the actual pieces of the business that we work, and those are the pieces that don't change. So for the most part, transition is still transition, but
the recruitment piece never changes. You still have to recruit, at least for now, until they flip to potentially affiliate only model, but time will tell.
If you have specific questions, again, don't hesitate to reach out and let me know, and I'm more than happy to answer those and get those back to you. So, all right, I love you all. I know I've rambled on, so I'm sorry. I love you. I love you. I love you. You are my people, and happy February.
Oh my God. You guys, She's still in, of course, but I hope she sees the light soon. She has so much to work for. Like, she has so much potential outside of Scentsy. Whether you want to go back to nursing and really get that career done, get that career path moving for yourself, or work on your billing, you can finally work and then leave your work for the rest of the day. You don't have to stress about team and mailing your team and checking on your team to see if they need anything and getting recruits and meeting your sales. You have a good career, regardless of if you pick medical billing and coding or if you choose to go back for your RN. Those are both really good, stable careers that will make right now it's hard to make a livable wage anywhere in the United States, but compared to MLMs, you could be comfortable. You could be all right. Anyway, I don't have anything else. I feel so sad. Thanks for hanging out with me while I talk a bunch of shit, and I will see you in the next one.
Someplace I could hide away. I feel like blessing